Everyone, welcome to HBCU Game Day. I'm Tolly Carr in Atlanta, and we are joined now by the head coach of Jackson State University, the Jackson State. He's Coach Sanders. Coach, thanks a lot for joining us, man. It's been quite a week. Happy to sit down and talk to you for a few minutes.
I owe you, man. We were getting ready to do it, and it was a lot of noise like it is now. Close the door, please. I'm doing a real interview with a real journalist. Can y'all close my door?
Coach, those are the same conversations I have with my children before I get started, man. You got to make sure it's silent.
I got 115 kids.
Well, Coach, it's always a good time, man. But I want to start here. I want to get something off my chest. First things first. You don't need me to carry your water. You don't need me to carry your receipts. This man did not walk out of media day. He was there the entire time. I was one of the last people he stopped and talked to. I don't know where this foolishness started. I hate misinformation, so let's clear that up.
You know where it started. It's foolishness, and it dates back to a newspaper who struggling. You know they're struggling, and they need clickbait, man. They need things for people to click on to them, and they want to sensationalize things, and I get offended. And I really wanted to show the country. I think people forget everywhere we go, we have cameras. Like we have cameras, we have our own crew. So everything is filmed. So I couldn't wait till we had the opportunity to say, all right, let's show the country really what transpired. And I think once they saw it, they say, oh, that's a whole different interpretation than what they try to put out there.
Okay, let me get Nick. Nick's a good guy.
Nick Suss, you're up.
Hey, Deion, I was just wondering if you could...
Oh, let's back up a little bit. You don't call Nick Saban Nick. Don't call me Deion now, okay?
I call Nick Saban Nick.
No, you don't. That's a lie. If you call Nick Nick, you know you get cussed out on the spot. So don't do that to me. Treat me like Nick.
Okay, Deion.
All right.
Just...
And mic drop for Coach Pride.
But I'm thankful that we had the opportunity of justification, because I couldn't stand to think that I walked out on my people, and I would never do such a thing. And even I felt bad that we didn't get to have an interview because of the noise. That's why I was on the way home and I said, oh my God, I forgot. Hey, let's knock this out. Let my folks get in touch with you so we can knock out this interview and give you the due that you deserve.
Yeah. For full transparency, you and I started an interview about 30 seconds in. There was a lot of noise. You said, look, let's figure out a way to fix this. That was the last time I saw you, but I knew, and this was my thought, before I got home to Atlanta, somebody was going to contact me to set it up. And I was still driving through Alabama when I got the phone call. So,
well, I appreciate you had that type of faith in us.
Look,
right is right.
I can only judge a man based on how he has treated me and how I've seen him treat other people. And so far, that's what I've seen of you. So I expected no less. I want to say this, and then we'll move on. I got really hot last night, and I don't get mad very often, Coach, but I was listening to ESPN Radio, their national broadcast. I was driving my son around trying to get him to go to sleep. You know that trick.
True.
And they were talking about you and Media Day, and, the guy on the show disagreed with what you did, which is fine. That's his opinion. But he went on to say that, he said, I'm not even going to mention where Deion Sanders is coaching because they don't deserve it and nobody's watching them anyway. And I think what he did is a bad example to be a leader of men. And, Coach, my chest, you know your chest gets warm when those chemical reactions start happening and you start to get upset. So I reached out to him on Twitter and I explained, and he conversed back with me. But I think what happened this week wasn't a big deal in a micro, but in a macro, I think it is a big deal, is that you have to get people to respect your name. And you as a leader of mostly, I would assume, young black men on your team, they don't even respect our lives in this country. And they haven't since the very time we rolled up on the shore. Okay? And if you're not going to respect the person's life, we have to stop that. And the first place you can start is you got to respect my name. We have to at least get that laid out. I think the example of you showing your young men, make sure not only you respect your name first, but that other people respect your name was a very important lesson, and it makes you a great leader of media.
And let me say this. It had nothing to do with Coach Saban. Coach Saban is a dear friend. I joke with my coaches all the time. In our documentary, you're going to see a scene where when the water went out all over the city, and our city was, going through it this past spring, and I had to take a bath in the pool at the hotel. I had to lather myself up in the bathroom and go in the pool. And I went to the elevators and I said, "You think Nick Saban does this?" And it was just, it was funny because he's our pinnacle. So it wasn't really about Nick Saban. It wasn't about that. It was really about, come on, man, just don't do me like that, because it's no way. And I hate to make this into something racial, but it's no way an African-American journalist would ever go into a situation like that and be disrespectful to a Caucasian coach and still retain his job that next day. That would never happen. And you know that, I know that, the multitudes know that, and it was just wrong. That's why I'm glad we showed it. It was just wrong. Then the clickbait that they put out that I walked out of a press conference, first of all, it was a Zoom. My time was done, and I graciously called him out. You know what? You know why I even went back? Equality. He was the only Caucasian person on that Zoom call. And I said, you know what? Let me give him an opportunity. I don't want to leave without him getting his opportunity. That's why I went back. I didn't understand what newspaper outlet or media outlet that he was associated to, because if I had known that, I definitely wouldn't have done it then, because I know who they are and how they get down. So I gave him that opportunity only because. And then you come up with that. It was wrong. I wasn't mad or anything, because I don't get mad. I don't major on the matter, and that was foolishness. That's why I was smiling. But I just ain't have time for it. I just wanted to move on and let's go to the next person, and let's conduct the next interview.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Look, I'm a journalist. I support journalism, but if you're wrong, you're wrong. At the end of the day, people who are journalists are people. They carry their own behavior, their own upbringing, or whatever. And I'll say this and we'll move on. A guy that I've known since I was 10 years old is the head coach at North Carolina Central. I would never, in a public setting, call him by his first name. Off air, that's one thing. It's just a matter of respect. There's coaches younger than me. Coach. But that's just
the dude. We can frame it however we want it, and take Coach Saban out of this. That guy just didn't respect me. That's just it. You didn't respect the position. You didn't respect me. You didn't respect nothing that we were doing there in that whole setting of HBCU football, especially me. That's just how it was. And that's good. You don't have to. But I don't have to sit there and condone it, because I don't teach that either. I do not. I gave him respect. So I would expect it back. But sometimes it's not reciprocated.
fair enough. We will leave it right there. Let's talk some football. Coach, I got a chance to talk to Shedeur Sanders. And let me tell you, here's what I asked him, Coach. You know, I've talked to thousands of athletes in my years of interviewing people. And usually the quarterback is kind of the, politically correct guy. He makes sure he says the right things. Shedeur reminds me of like a linebacker or a safety. Just his mental approach and just his overall attitude. I asked him, I was like, so Shedeur, your first year in the SWAC, or are you excited? You had any thoughts about the different environments and all the pageantry and everything that goes along? And he was very respectful in his answer, but his eyes said something else. Like, man, come on. And his answer was, Coach, he said, I don't surround myself with fans.
Honestly, I haven't heard about none of that. I don't surround myself by people that's fans. You know what I mean? So the people I surround myself is people that, that's came here to have one goal. So we don't really talk about opposing teams and environments and stuff like that, because as long as we do our job, it don't matter who we play. And
that really just struck me as, wow, like his mentality, his edge for a quarterback and for a football player, a little different.
Shedeur is like being his nickname is Grown. He's acted as a grown man ever since his childhood. Shedeur has only known how to play quarterback. That's the position he played, as well as strong safety growing up. So he didn't transition to a quarterback. He's always been there. He's always seen the game. Shedeur was calling the offenses and changing plays and checking off at 7 and 8 years old. So this is who he is. He didn't even want to go to the press conference because he didn't want to miss practice. That's just who he is. He understands that he has a responsibility, but he would rather be at practice getting better. He approaches the thing from neck up, and he loves the game. He was just coming off COVID, so he had been in bed for quite some time. But during the whole process, every day, he wanted the film. He wanted to break down FAMU. He understands the coverages they're running. He understands how we're going to attack them. The buzz calls, the this, that. He's a football guy, and he loves the game. And then the resources he has, because he's my son, he's able to pick up a phone and call a Tom Brady and call a Brett Favre and other guys to talk to him about the intricate details of the game. But he loves it.
In practice was the only thing that made him light up with the questions that we asked. And he kept saying this over and over. He was like, man, you just don't know. You just don't understand what the type of defense I'm facing every day in practice.
Yeah.
And that, I don't even want to talk about any of my opponents because that defense is what's sharpening me.
Well, when you have a cornerback that was supposed to be at Georgia, you have another one that was at Florida State. You have another one that was at the University of Florida. You have another one that was in South Carolina, and I could just keep going on and on. So it's you have a defensive end that was at Tennessee. Another one was at USC. Defensive tackle was at Auburn. This guy was here. It's a linebacker at Missouri. This guy's from here. I mean, it's like that. So he's not lying, and it's very competitive. And they talk junk to one another, but it's all in fun and competition. So the offense is trying to destroy the defense. The defense is trying to destroy the offense. But it's competitive. It's a competition at darn near every position that we have. Certainly he's the quarterback. Certainly a couple linemen have established themselves. Now Gaddy has established himself. But other than that, it's a competition on the field everywhere to start. And we love it. We embrace it. We love it.
Now tell me a little bit about Miles, because he's on the opposite end of the spectrum. He was cool, calm, collected, easygoing, but I know on the field it's an entirely different thing.
It's so funny because when you said that, it was like they swap personalities, because Gaddy is that kind of guy. Like when you look in his eyes, he's red. He's on red. He's ready to go. Like I'm so proud of him from where he's developed into, especially academically, and the man that he is in the weight room, conditioning, as well as on the field is just. It was hard to get off a pass in the spring because of those two pass rushers and those guys on defense that weren't eligible to participate, but to see them go about their craft. But they didn't get the carry at the end of the week to get an opportunity to play on Saturday. So now these guys got all this adrenaline and hostility built up, and they cannot wait to get out there to show the country what they have. And I'm excited for them.
And you said this with the pregame show, Neely and those guys. We share a lot of content with them, which kind of gives us indirect access to you throughout the week. But you said, correct me if I'm wrong, you had the kids raise the hand in practice one day of who was there and who wasn't on the spring team. And you said, what, 85%?
85% of these kids are new. Like when the Bible says, behold, I'll do a new thing that God won't lie. Like this is a whole new thing. This is a whole new situation. We just went over special teams yesterday as a staff and just going over the personnel and the athletes, just the athleticism, just the intelligence. It's just a different feel of what we have in-house right now. And I can tell you over and over, I'm excited and I'm proud of these kids because I don't like the word buy-in because they don't say bought in. They're committed, man. They're committed and they want to go to the next level, which is the league. And we're giving them the cheat code. Like, you keep doing that, you got a wonderful opportunity, but this has to be consistent. You got to do this consistently. That's the benefit of having a coaching staff that has well over 60 years of NFL experience playing and coaching.
You had a lot of high-level talent come to a camp, I think just last month there in Jackson. Tyrann Mathieu, the Honey Badger was there. T.O. was there.
Yeah.
T.O. is one of my favorite players, and I loved him because he seemed to be always misrepresented and misunderstood. And even the context I didn't get from the camp. I saw him going one-on-one, letting kids guard him. I thought that was a part of the camp. But I came to learn he stayed like extra time. Like you were already going, and he was still there working with the kids.
I didn't want to see T.O. kill the kids. I walked by one of my cornerbacks, I forget the name of, and I said, look, you're in a lose-lose situation because if you break the pass up, you're supposed to because he's 40-something, okay? But if he beats you, you're going to go viral. So how can you win? I looked at him and I just kept walking on to the room. But that's who T.O. is, man. That's one of the hardest working men in the game that ever lace it up. Smart, intelligent. That's the thing he doesn't get a lot. Like people don't understand how smart he is. There's no way you could catch that many balls, a touchdown, and not be a smart football player. And T.O. was extremely intelligent. And he's a worker, man. And the kid's got an opportunity to see how he goes about his craft and how he sets off the ball and how he gets into his routes and get out of his breaks. It was phenomenal to see that. Just to glean from some of those pros that we had on hand at the camp, D'Angelo Hall to name another, it was unbelievable.
How do you measure that? I mean, you're there, you're a Hall of Famer, you got NFL experience on your staff, but just to, sometimes have that fresh voice that has the amount of validity of people that you're able to bring in, like, how do you measure that as an extra component of your program?
I don't understand. I don't know if it's a measurement, but what it is, it's a visual. It's giving me a visual of he made it. Why not me? So you're giving hope. You're showing them people that are successful and they got an opportunity to walk right up to them and say, tell me how you did it. I say, guys, don't be bothering these guys with pictures and autographs. That ain't gonna do nothing for you. Get information, man. Get information of how they did what you're desiring to do. Some intricate details of work ethic or how they did this or how they overcame that adversity, because we all been through adverse situations, but how they overcame it. That's the goal and that's the target, and that's what these guys add. We have Zoom calls. We call it the Jackson 5. I may have a celebrity or someone who's deemed to be successful get on the Zoom for 5 minutes and let our guys fire away with questions and see the direct response for these guys. It's phenomenal to see them light up when that camera comes on and you see a Ray Lewis sitting there or someone sitting there, or Snoop or someone that they can identify with to be successful. And that's all these kids need, man. We just got to keep them dreaming. We just got to keep them dreaming, man, while they're awake. I want them to dream while they're awake. Now, see, that is a profound statement. I want them to dream while they're awake. That's bad.
Absolutely. Absolutely it is. Coach, you have clicked with Coach Reed, one of my favorite coaches at Jackson State. There's something about her style that
a girl.
I don't know what it is. You can see it. You can just see it. She's brought her girls out. She's brought her girls out to work out with you guys doing some conditioning. What is it about you two that you two have really seemed to hit it off?
When I first got here, we had some function, and she was one of the first to come over and say, "How you doing? I'm Coach Reed. I'm such and such." And I did my homework a little bit, so she's a winner. She got a ring, and she is stunned with her big ring on, talking to me, doing her little thing, because she's so swaggy, it's unbelievable. She's so sophisticated. She's a lady, but she's a boss, and I love her. And the way she coaches, her style, her commitment, her effort, her relationships with her ladies, and she don't take no junk. So she had some girls that were going through a little something. And I said, you know what? Have them come over and train with us so they can understand, all right, freshman kids are going through some of the same things, and let them see how much what it takes for them to be where they need to be at the next level, that our kids can see how your girls do it, because you winning SWAC championships, and that's where we desire to be. But I love her to life. she's a dear friend, and we keep it 100 with one another, and we kind of uplift one another oftentimes.
Not only do you guys want to build a champion there with your athletes and with your program and your philosophy, but you have to have the facilities and the resources to go along with it. I know you guys have laid out a new turf field. What are some of the other things that you're pushing along that you like to see in the near future come to Jackson State?
Well, I just got from on the field just recently, right before this. That's what had me a little tardy, because we're not only doing the turf field, we're doing an adjacent grass field, because I want the kids to be able to rotate, and I want continuous movement at practice. I hate idle feet. I don't like a coach sitting up there like he's preaching a sermon, talking. Everybody's just standing. I want everybody working. So when we're doing special teams over here, I still want inside run over here. I still want activity. So we have an adjacent grass field, new locker rooms, barbershop, whole lounge area, coach's locker. It's bad. Our AD Ashley's done a wonderful, phenomenal job of bringing that in-house. That should be done hopefully October, November. And so many other things that we have on tap. Michael Strahan's company just came and suited up the whole team and took their measurements last week. So when we get on that plane going to the Orange Blossom Classic, we're going to be so clean, we're dirty. We the coaches, the staff, and the players. So it's so many other things. We have seminars and people coming in to talk about how these kids need to become a more attractive for the NIL. Lawyers, to make sure you look over your paperwork, to make sure you're paying taxes, to make sure you understand how to market yourself, how to clean up your Instagram or your Twitter, making sure no foolishness is on it. But the main focus is the ball. We got a ball. Like, if you ball out, now there's an opportunity for you to be endorsable. But it all starts with you balling. And let's keep the main thing the main thing.
When it comes to NIL, you were one of the first coaches, definitely in the HBCU realm, to bring it up. And I was like, wow, is this really going to happen that fast? And I was a little skeptical because nothing happens fast in the NCAA. But, man, this thing really took off. And your guys were some of the first to announce that they had deals, a couple of your players. Has that been a smooth transition for you and your program?
Yes, we prepared them. We had several Zoom meetings because we were on break then, and we really prepared them and had the necessary resources on the Zoom call so they could understand candidly and vividly, adamantly, what this is. And you do know there's taxes that come with this. You do know there's a contract that comes with this. You do know there's a responsibility that comes with this, and do not sign nothing unless an attorney look over it. So we really counseled and prepared our kids for such. And they did a phenomenal job with really sending everything in, letting our team look over it, and now I'm trying to select my words, and not doing anything stupid. I just talk like I talk. They didn't do anything crazy that will tarnish what we're trying to accomplish here at Jackson State. But I'm proud of them. But they gotta remember to keep the game first. Don't go out there trying to secure the marketing things when you're not balling, because it don't work. You got to ball, then that stuff's gonna come.
Absolutely. Coach, we had preseason selections, we had predicted order of finish. This year, more than any other year, I don't put any stock in it. Look, your team's 85% new. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know. The transfer portal, every school is losing people, gaining people. We're going to have to settle this all on the field. You will get your first shot against Coach Willie Simmons, FAMU, welcoming them to the SWAC Orange Blossom Classic. Miami Gardens. I know Uncle Luke is going to be a part. I know Ocho Cinco, he's going to have something to say. There's going to be a lot of eyeballs there. How excited are you for not only the game, but just the platform to kick off the season?
I'm extremely excited. I'm very fond of Coach Simmons. He's a phenomenal coach, a phenomenal person, a phenomenal man, and he really gets it. I love him to life. I knew him before I even got into this job here at Jackson State University. And his team will be prepared. They will be concise. They will hustle, they would fight, and they're smart. And I love the challenge. I love that we're playing in Miami. At first, I would love to play here in Jacksonville, but to be in a classic, I really hadn't been in that rich of a classic as of yet, and I cannot wait to see the pageantry, the bands, the people, both teams in Miami, and we're going to be there for several days, so our kids get like a bowl-like feeling, a bowl-like atmosphere. And we're going to try to allow them to see some of the sights in Miami, take them to some places, have some of my friends come in to inform them and educate them and inspire and encourage them as well. But football is football. We got to go down there to play. We're going down there with a serious attitude that this is the beginning of a brand new era, a brand new thing, something new to behold that HBCUs have never seen before. And that's our mission. That's the goal. And we're going to prepare our butts off and be ready for that particular day. But to be in front of a national audience on September 5th, that's a blessing. And we pray to God that both teams, and we know we will, represent the SWAC in such a manner that encourages and motivates other kids to say, you know what, I want to play for them. That's how it all started with me going to a school like Florida State and even going to the pros. Like, I saw it on television first, and I said to myself, that's what I want. And I went out and got it. So if we could entice a dream, so be it. That's what we're here for.
I really enjoyed your episode on I Am Athlete. Chad Johnson was just in your ear the whole episode. He wanted you to line up with him. Are you gonna have to make sure somebody keeps Chad out of your ear during the week of the OBC? He's a distraction.
That's my little brother, man. I love Chad to life. You got to understand, when he was not Oche Cinco and he was Chad Johnson, he came to the crib way back when, before he was on that stage, to get some pointers. I was retired at the time, and I just want Florida boy. So, you know, we love each other anyway. And I just want to see him come up and come out of the hood and represent, man. And he did just that. I love him to life. Every time we see each other, it's on site. We could be in different cars going different ways and see each other at the red light. We're going to get out the car and line up, because that's how we get down. It's on site. And I love him to life. All those guys from I Am Athlete. And I was able, because of trust, like I trust you, able to put my guards down and be who God has called me to be, with no thought of apprehension whatsoever.
All right, I'm a one bonus question here, because you just said it. And Coach, I was a sociology major in high school. I'm always interested, in college, I'm always interested not in what people do, but why they do what they do. And when I've kind of watched you from afar and up close, I think people want to have, and I'm using air quotes here. I know you can't see me well, but I'm using air quotes. When people, even when they don't know you, they want to have a Deion moment with you. It's almost like, you know, when Muhammad Ali was the champ and you see him on the street, everybody wants to shadow box with him, you know, for 5-10 seconds. People want to have that kind of verbal or, you know, interaction with you. You know, how do you treat people nice, but also draw your lines of, you know, hey, I'm a coach, I'm this, you know, I'm not that guy now. Like, how do you draw those lines on your day-to-day?
First of all, I've learned to compartmentalize things. Some people that doesn't work for, but for me it does. I could have all hell going on right here. And right here is peace, be still. I'm happy, I'm elated, I'm encouraging, motivating. But then when I'm done with that, I'm gonna go take care of this hell and make sure I address it. And I've learned to be able to function and do multiple things and multiple tasks and be dominant in those simultaneously. That's what people made a big deal out of football and baseball. It was a big deal for them, but it wasn't me. What is it for me? Because that was my lifestyle. That's all I knew, how to play football and baseball at the same time, and basketball as well. But when I engage with someone, I try not to go into anything with preconceived notions. I try to give a person his rope or give him his love and admiration as well. But I want to inspire, man. I want to add to whatever situation I'm on. That's why when I was getting ready to sit down with you or stand up and do that interview, with all the noise, I couldn't give you the best that I could give you. And I feel like, man, you deserve that. The way you treat my brother Neely and the way you're so professional at what you do. You're a diamond just waiting to be seen by the multitude. That's the way I feel about you, man. You're good at what you do and you're a stand-up guy. You call it like it is, a spade a spade. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Check me. Cool. I'm not sad or ignorant about it because I probably needed to be checked, and I respect you like that. So I'm going to try to give you your moment, man, and I want you to shine and make the most of it. If I could add value to you, I feel like as though it adds value to me because I want you to shine, because I feel like God is going to bless me continuously if I keep on blessing. And I'm blessed to be a blessing. I truly am.
Man, we need to hit that organ that you have Neely hit when you make them points, man.
I appreciate it.
That's good. Well, and thank you for your compliments as well. I really appreciate that. Coach Sanders, it's always good to chat, man. I know you got stuff to do. I'll sit here all day and just fire off stuff.
Hey,
but
you got Sam. You got my guy. Honestly, and I'm not just saying this because people tell you I'm 100. Whenever you need me, whenever you want to address something that transpired, let's go. We got it. You deserve it. Our people deserve it. They need to see more of us on the platform together. I wish you could get me and Willie on there together to talk about what we're trying to do for our people and our team. I just want several players from that game to be drafted. That's my goal. Somebody's going to win, somebody's going to lose. We pray that's us. But I want several kids on that field to be drafted.
And you said that's the mentality of your team. You said pro or bust.
We trying to go pro. We trying to rescue mom and them. Like I've met so many mothers, and that one thing when I'm talking to a kid, when I'm Zoom calling a kid or recruiting a kid, I want to talk to mama. Because see, mama ain't gonna lie for him. So when I'm telling you, man, are you smoking? Are you gonna come in, smoke up everything or drink up everything on campus? Because I don't want that. Mama, what kind of son you got? Mama gonna shoot it straight. That's why I love it. And I want to encourage these kids and build these kids and aim these arrows towards the right direction, man, so they could go back and take care of mama, the sister, grandma and them, and everybody. That's what I want. But we want to also educate them to teach them how to keep it going. Don't just get them out the hood, then they got to go back to the hood because you mismanage your funds. We're going to teach you all that. We're going to teach you how to handle your business, man. And it starts right now, not tomorrow. That starts right now.
He is the head coach of Jackson State University. He's Coach Sanders. He's Coach Prime. You call him what you want. Just make sure you call him Coach.
If we have a relationship, you can call me Deion. If we don't have no relationship, you can't call me by my first name. It's a relationship.
Absolutely. Relationship capital is everything. Coach, thanks a lot for your time, man. We'll look forward to catching you down at the OBC if we don't see you before then. And all the best to you and your team. We wish you the best of luck.
I appreciate it. And keep that Jackson State helmet right where it is. Do not move that thing, all right? Keep that thing right there.
It's there. I get a lot of heat about that, but I keep it in the shot. I need one of those new ones, too.
I'm going to try to get you a new one, okay?
That new one is fire now. That new one is fire.
Which one? Because
you got 5. Yeah, that's right. The one that had the silver and
the chrome.
Yeah, the chrome.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that.
You know we got more changes than Lady Gaga.
Yeah, I see that. I see that. For real.
All right, bro.
Coach, thanks again, man. Have a good day, man. We'll catch up with you a little later.
God bless.